Okay. Hello, beautiful people. Let me see whether this thing is actually showing. Hello, beautiful people. We're actually live. Oh, we're live. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I have to put off my volume on YouTube because it will be interacting with what we're talking about. Hi, beautiful people. Hi, SP. Welcome, 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 welcome,
Hi.
welcome again. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Okay, so just briefly, let me see.
Mhm.
All right. So it's working. It's working on YouTube. Yes. All right. So just a minute. Let me hear me now. Can you hear me now?
Hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes, I can now.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hi, SB. Hi, SB. Welcome,
Hi.
welcome, welcome to the adulthood community. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's such an honor to, have you here with us. So, so grateful. So today we are going to be talking about money. Literally
Mm.
money. I say that nothing prepares you for adulthood like money, like financial management, like billings. Like you actually realize that you're already an adult once you start earning money. Because it's then
Mhm.
you now have to start figuring things out for yourself. You'd be like, oh, how do
Mhm.
I manage my finances? How do I,
Mhm.
do this thing called adulthood without losing everything? So today, really, and this month, we're actually going to be doing a series called Adult Your Money. And our major focus for today is personal finance 101, the basics. And with me here, guys, I have the one and only SP Sopuluchi Obiora here in the building. Let's give her a warm
Hi,
welcome.
hi, hi, hi,
Hi,
hi, hi.
SP. Welcome, welcome, welcome,
Hi,
welcome
people.
to the YouTube channel. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. So I'm just going to read out her
Welcome.
profile. Tell a friend to tell a friend to join. I see that a couple of people are already tuned in. So tell a friend to tell a friend to join right now.
Mhm.
All right. So who is SP? Sopuluchi Obiora, fondly called SP. If you people are thinking of why am I calling her SP, it's because SP is her nickname. Okay. SP is a finance professional with over 4 years experience in the industry, having worked in the financial industry, having worked in various institutions and various banks as a quality assurance specialist, e-payment analyst, and currently in the fintech space. Somebody say money. Hey, I'm just saying money. Some of them in the fintech. Okay. She is passionate about financial literacy, especially in the younger generation, Gen Zs, because she actually believes that this generation will lead the move in driving Nigeria, not just Nigeria, but Africa at large, to its forefront of economic growth. She has taken to her mission actually by posting nuggets and information on how to build and sustain wealth on her LinkedIn page. Her LinkedIn page is actually in the description box below. So if you need to tune in and get information there, please, by all means, it is such a blessing. If you're looking for starting your financial journey, such a blessing. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the YouTube channel. SP.
Okay,
Okay,
thank
so let me just get the questions. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, so the first question, right? We're talking about personal finance. We're talking about adulting your money. And for a lot of
you.
people, I mean, one of the major things you know about adulthood is taking responsibility for your life, for your finances, for your health. So, what would you say personal finance is? What would you describe personal finance as to you? What is personal finance? If you're explaining to a layman, a young teenager, someone in their early 20s, what personal finance is, what would you describe personal finance as?
All right. So thank you. Very important question. So like the term personal finance, personal there talks about a person, an individual, and then finance is about money. So it is an
Mm,
individual's money. Personal finance, in layman's terms, is just an individual's money. And when
money.
you talk about personal finance, you're talking about how to make money as an individual, how to manage that money, and how to
Mm,
multiply or grow that money. So personal finance is
mm,
basically how to make money as an individual, how
mm,
to manage, and how to multiply money. That's all.
mm. Thank you so much, SP.
Very,
Saying
very.
personal finance is an individual's money. An individual.
Mhm.
So the personal is the individual, and then the finance is the money aspect. First of all, before we even get
Exactly.
too deep into this thing, please, if you're in this live, I need you to take your notepad, take your notepad, whether on your phone or physical notepad, because you need to jot things down. We're learning because we need to adult our money so that we don't fall for scams, CBEX community and family members. So sit down and jot things down. So far you said personal finance is about making money, right? Managing money and multiplying money. So okay, let me first start with the making money. What how do we, and I know actually most people know um how to make money, but what are the briefly, if you would touch on how can a person right now, a young adult in this day and age, make money? What are the typical pathways to follow for making money before we move to the management aspect?
All right. So making money in this time and age for young adults is easier than the time of our parents and forefathers because of technology. People don't have to
Mm,
go or work or go move like motion to another place to make money right from your home. If you leverage technology from your phone, you don't even need a laptop. From your phone, you
mm,
can make money through content creation,
mm,
digital marketing, drop shipping. Some persons don't even need to own shops these days, and they are
mm.
selling what people that own shops are selling because they're
I'm
able to
telling.
post it, they're able to market it. They have that marketing skill. They know how to design flyers. They know how, graphic design. There are a lot of things to do to make money. So making money for in this, and even there's the vocation aspect, your skills. Some persons can
Mm.
make hair, some persons can sew. There are many ways to make money. A young person now, if you check, they have many income streams, much more
But
than
you
even
need
the
money.
think about.
You cannot even survive
Yeah,
without money.
there are a lot of ways to make money now.
I see. So we're talking making money pathways, having a job, businesses, just as you said, whether online business or physical business, it doesn't matter. And
Exactly.
then investing in your skill sets as well. So somebody that knows
Mhm.
how to make hair, somebody that knows how to bake, to make
Mhm.
dresses, makeup, things like that. Okay, so I feel like most people actually know, or most people are actually taught the idea of how to make money. At least we
Make
know
money.
that these are the things that you need to do to make money. But where I see that a lot of young adults struggle is in the
Mhm.
management of money and
Mhm.
multiplying money. Especially just as you said, you said in this day and age that it's easier to make money. A lot of people now live in the era of content creation, right? A lot of people now are
Mhm.
actually finding it easier to make money. But when you look at the outcome of their lives, maybe at the end of the year, and or even at the end of the month, for some people, you realize that the money that they've made, they can't explain how it has been spent. They can't, there's nothing left, right? They're just sort of
Mm.
living from hand to mouth. Like they make the money, they spend the cash, and then they find another way to make money. So my next question is, in this day
Yeah.
and age, how can a young adult manage money? As you said, managing money is a part of personal finance, you said. How can a
Yeah.
young adult manage money? What are the steps that we need to take to manage money as young adults?
Okay, so before I go into all that, there's a mindset I want us to have here. The essence of this
Mm,
meeting, right? The essence of what we are doing here is not just so
yes.
that you can look back on your account and see that, oh, there's a lot of money there. It's not magic.
Mm,
I want to make that
mm,
emphasis. This class is to teach you
mm,
how to, on a long term, because it's a process. We are not here to teach you how to get money now. I need to, because I get this a lot. Teach me
yeah.
how to make the money now. I have just 5,000. By the end of the month, I want you to multiply to 5 million. Please. That
Mm,
is that is not what we are
mm,
teaching. And then secondly, there needs to be that mindset of um longevity, legacy. I say
longevity.
this all the time. If you don't work with that mindset, you will see that you keep living from hand to mouth. It's a mindset thing.
Mm,
Some of us were not privileged
mm,
to come from a wealthy background. But guess what? Not every person that that's not everybody has to come from a wealthy background to really make a name for themselves or make it in life.
yeah,
I don't know if you've listened to
yeah,
the story of some people we know, Mark Zuckerberg, some of these persons we know. Some of them didn't come from rich homes. Some of them were
you're
dropouts.
right.
Some of them did not
That's
even
true.
complete
That's
their
true.
education.
That's
So where
true.
I'm going with this is you must make up your mind that I want to build a legacy. I want to contribute to economical growth. Look at the likes of
Mm,
that or $10. They are there because they are contributing to the
the
growth
economic
of
growth.
not just Nigeria, but Africa as a whole. You can't mention rich people in Africa without mentioning Aliko Dangote's name. So the goal or the idea is to raise people like the new Tony Elumelus, the Otedolas, the
Mm,
Alak. That's the essence. That's my
mm,
mission. So I'm not here to teach you how to manage your 1K to become 2K. I'm here to teach you to work long term. And once you have that goal
mm,
in mind, you Ponzi schemes will come before you. You will not even look at it because you know
mm,
where you are headed. You know where you are going.
mm,
So having said
yeah.
that, now moving on to how to manage your money. Like we've already established, there are many and easier ways to make money in this time and age.
Mm,
Thanks to technology, right? Now, how do you manage your money? The essence of financial management is to see where your money is going and where your money is coming from. It is called accountability. You want to account for your money. I see a
mm,
lot of people that earn, some persons earn, you'll be shocked. The persons earn above 500K now. And by the end of the month,
mm,
they don't know where the money went. And they
mm.
start
God,
to
that
even
big.
borrow. Yeah, it's not really about how much you make, it's how well you manage it and how the money works for you. You know,
For
it's true,
you.
you have a lot of skills, you can make money. You don't want to be making money and keep hustling. Let me use I don't like hustle.
Mm,
Nobody wants to be working as hard as you want, even in your old age. A time will
I
come when
agree.
your money should work for you. Even
I
as a young
agree.
person, money should be able to work for you to a certain degree, even if it's not a big money like that, like 7 figures or 6 figures. But to an extent,
Mm,
you should be able your money is like your seed. So now going straight to it, because I know I can continue on this path. Going straight to financial management. For financial management, three things come to mind. First of all is budgeting. The second
budgeting.
one is cash flow management. And the third one is debt management. Now,
Okay.
once you have budgeting on lockdown, you have cash flow management on lockdown, and you understand how to manage your debt, that you are owing is not a crime. But if you know how to manage it, then you set yourself on the
Mm,
path to becoming wealthy over time. So yes, that is what financial management is in summary, or money
I
management.
see. Thank you so much, SB. Like I was just jotting things down. I think one major thing I even want to highlight, which you said, is having the right mindset about money. I feel like this
Mm,
goes to say that there should be a purpose in mind of why do you want to make money. As you mentioned, Dangote's, the Alaki Jazz, the Tony Endumelus, they wanted to build impact. It wasn't just about changing coins or doing money doublers. They actually wanted to build impact, have things out of Africa and be able to feed the world, things like that. So the right mindset is very
mm,
important, which means that the purpose for making money must also be known. Right. Another thing that I love that you said is that longevity, meaning that, and I think it goes to say that making money actually takes time. It's not something that we should just rush all into and, oh wow, I'm making money now, yay. It's actually something that, as you actually described, should be built over time. So thank you so much for that. Now we're talking about financial management, all right? And you mentioned budgeting, right?
mhm,
You said cash flow management. That is, we should see where our money is going. That is very important, because if I tell you
mm,
that I know where my money is going, but God will help me. I want you to touch on these areas. You mentioned three: budgeting,
mm,
cash flow management, and debt management. How
mhm,
does a person, first of all, what is budgeting? How can I
mm.
budget as a young adult? And then moving on into the cash flow management, how do I monitor that? And then debt management. Just those three areas that you highlighted on. Let's touch on them before we go ahead.
Okay, so I'll be very brief. Budgeting, budgeting and cash flow management, they go hand in hand. Well, I'll give you the what makes them slightly different, right? For budgeting is, you hear a lot about maybe at the end of the year or beginning of the new year that the president and his people, they are trying to draft out the budget for the year. I don't know if you people watch
Mm,
it for the year, you hear things like that. So when you hear that, so it means that these people are very intentional about what they want to
what they are
spend.
doing.
Exactly. So when they tell you they want to draft out the year's budget, it means that for every project they want to do that year in the country, it will be accounted for and the
Mm,
resources directed appropriately. So think of it as you. When you say you want to map out a budget for yourself, some persons map out their budget every week, for especially for entrepreneurs, because they make their money
mm,
on a daily basis.
on a
Yeah,
daily
I
basis.
know. Yeah, entrepreneurs most times they map out their budget every week. But for salary earners, most salary earners create their budget
Mm,
every month because that is when the money comes at the end of the month. So last month's salary is for this month's budget. That is the way salary earners,
mm,
right? So by the
mm.
end of the month, you hear some very, very financial, people that are really into financial management tell you, I'm not removing any money from this salary until I've mapped out my budget. That's when you know
Yeah,
that this person is very serious. So that's the way
yeah,
it should
yeah.
be for you. Once the some persons, once the alert enter like this, ha, they don't know it is to go and buy. I'm not saying you shouldn't, enjoy yourself. You should, but you should be able to
Mm,
budget even that enjoyment. I budget for my enjoyment. Every money I
mm.
spend, it is the
Budget
budget.
for your enjoyment. I need to write that down.
Yes, very
No, no, no,
important.
no.
Budget for your enjoyment. Financial management is not saying that you should not enjoy or live a soft life. I'm all for a soft life. If you
Mm,
know me well, I like soft life, but I have to budget it. Yes. Think of it as you have to give account for that money. Because guess what? Even if you don't give account, your account statement will give you an account of the money. Your
mm.
account statement will not lie to you. Your account statement will show you what you use the money for. So you want to
Okay.
be in line. You want to be the one to have you want to have control over your account statement. Yes, before my statement, because I think every bank is mandated to send account statement to every individual by end of the month or beginning of the month. I'm not sure. But before I
Monthly.
get my
Yeah.
account statement, right? I'm sure you like every individual should receive their account statement every month,
Yeah.
ending or
Yes.
beginning. Yeah. Before that, my statement comes. I already know. the figures that are coming because I have my own.
Mm.
I will match it together. If there's a disparity, maybe all those there are small bank charges and all that. But I know,
Mm.
and that's because I'm intentional about budgeting. Now, how do you start? How do you do budgeting? Some persons use in this time and age, there are various ways to budgeting. There are apps you can use to budget. For Android users, you can use My Money app. For iPhone users, there's the Spendy app. You can even use your
Mm.
Excel sheet. Some persons even use notes, the notepad on their
No.
phone. I
Yes.
started using my notepad when I started. But at a point, I told myself, this notepad thing is stressing me out. I opened my Excel sheet. That's because I'm a finance professional. I work with Excel. I just imputed formulas there. I have my budget already mapped out. I don't need to start doing January. I already have an Excel sheet where everything flows. I just come and impute the amount. The formula there just, does the calculation for me. I
For
see
you.
everything. Yeah, so your budget. Now I said budget and cash flow management go hand in hand. Now,
Yes.
now I'm going to cash flow management. Cash flow management is basically about tracking your flows, your inflow and your outflow. Track what comes in, track what goes out. Now, for salary earners, it's very
Mm.
easy to track what comes in because usually it's
Yeah.
just one. You
It's
know
a
what
fixed amount.
is a fixed amount, but most times you don't know what goes out. And so, for most salary earners, it's usually tracking the outflow is usually the problem. 2K here, 5K here, 10K here, 3,500 here,
Mm.
like this. And before you know, the money has finished. Now, what I'm saying is you can you have to be friends with your budget app or your tracker, whatever you want to use. Just try to have
Mm.
that relationship. When I mean relationship, as you are going on, even if it's transport, when you come back, at the end of the day, let me tell you how
Yeah.
to make it easy for you. At the end of the day, I do like because if you leave it for a week or a month, you see that you've forgotten what you spent money on. At the end of the day, before you go to
Mm.
bed, just take out 5 minutes. What did I spend money on? Write it on whatever, whether you're using your notepad, your Excel, whatever you're using, just write it there, put it there. You already have one part for how much for salary earners now, how much came in the month. What so by
Yeah.
the end of the week, maybe a Sunday or a Saturday, just do a calculation of everything you spent on it on
Okay.
on the days of that week. So why I say do it every week, it will guard you because if you notice that this first week that salary came because of salary, the money is big, I spent a lot. You will tune down on the second week. It will be
Mm.
like a check in your mind. You will tune down on the second week and then the third week like that. If you do that consistently, there's something that happens to your mind. Your mind will adjust. Even if you want to
Mm.
enjoy, and add the enjoyment, the money for suya, add it there. Money for shawarma, add it there.
Mm. For
Ice cream,
shawarma, very
yogurt,
important.
add it there. I'm not saying you should not. Please enjoy yourself. But all these
Mm.
things, once you because when you keep doing that at the end of the month, you see where all your money is going to. If you see that you've spent more than you should on shawarma, nobody will tell you. You will tell yourself that, oh no, this shawarma money is too much. Let me reduce it a bit.
Yeah.
Oh no, this money
Yeah.
for ice cream is too much. Let me reduce it a bit.
Yeah.
You will see where your money is going. You will see where your
Yeah.
money is coming from. Exactly. So that's just what it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, SP. Like
Well,
this is just enlightening. This is just enlightening. Now I want to move on into investments. But just before investments, very briefly, I want you to touch on debt
okay, yeah,
management.
debt management.
Especially
Yeah.
because there are a lot of loan apps now. People, are trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? Trying to live
Mhm.
their life at the expense of someone else's money, right? Trying to put front on social media, which aren't always true. How can a young adult manage debt right now in this season? And what are your thoughts on debt? Because for someone like me, I'm not really a fan of borrowing money because I will not sleep at night. How can I be with somebody's money? I will not be at peace, So I really always tend not to borrow as much as possible. But what are your thoughts on debt for young adults, debt management, debts in general?
Okay. So for debt, right? I would say um if you can, if you can. Because for some persons, it's like a habit. Once they start,
Mm,
they don't know how to, stay away from it. And for some
I
persons, the habit is maybe, I'm saying maybe due to a particular lifestyle that they they've carved out for
they
themselves.
carved out for
So
themselves.
that can actually, I know I wrote on my LinkedIn, I did a two series. I did the part one and
Mm,
part two. I did series on debt.
yes,
Why debt?
yes, I
The
actually read
positive
that. Yeah.
aspect. Yeah, I looked at it from the beneficial aspect and how you can manage it so that it doesn't become a trouble, it doesn't become a pain
Mm,
in your ass, right? So now, debt, actually, let's be honest, debt can be a very good source of financing. Yes, there are some
mm,
persons, especially, it's a very good source of financing when you use it to fund assets. There are some businesses today that you will not know their names if not for the fact that they secured loans to fund that business idea. Yes, I don't want to
mm,
start naming. There are some brands, well-known brands in Nigeria today. If you
yeah.
ever listen to the founder of those brands when they speak, how they started that brand, they will tell you point blank that they had to take loans to fund that business. And guess what? It is not bad
Mm,
because they
mm,
knew they've done their math, they've done the math. They knew that if they took a loan to fund that business and that business starts making money, they were able to pay
yeah.
back the repayment with even extra profits made. And so whenever you have to take debt, when I am choosing my words carefully, if you have to
Mm,
take debts, if you have to borrow, if you have to take loans, if you have to be indebted to someone or an organization or someone, yes, or an organization, ensure that it is for an income generating asset.
income
Yes.
generation. I see.
Yes, some persons take debt to buy assets that over time they can pay off that debt and still have returns, which is good. And some persons
Mm,
take debt because of emergencies. Yeah, it happens. So family
true.
members it's a situation of life and death, and they need
Mm,
to secure this money. You won't blame that
yeah.
person, and they have to secure debt. Yes, some persons secure debt even to save people from maybe some things they found themselves in, right? So taking debt
Mm,
is not a bad thing on its own. What I'm talking about is how to manage it. Yes.
mm,
Now, to manage
okay.
debt, first of all, you need to tell yourself the truth that you are in debt. And
Mm,
ignoring it will not help you. You are owing this person, you
mm.
now pass the other road or the other street, running
That's always the
away.
problem.
Running away from debt will not help. That's the truth
Yeah.
of the matter. Yeah, I've met individuals that once they get that notification from their loan app about repayment, they just delete the message. They're angry. Am I
Mm.
the only one that's owing? After all, Nigeria is owing. That's what they will tell you. So realistic, tell yourself, face it. Don't run away
The
from it.
truth.
You are in debt. You are indebted. It
Mm,
will not kill you. And
mm.
devise a strategy to pay.
I
Devise a
see.
strategy. For salary earners, some of them take what do they call it? Salary advance.
Salary
Or
advance,
maybe
yes.
yes, before the salary comes, they take the salary ahead because they have some maybe family emergencies or some things they have to. And
Mm,
when the salary comes, the money goes. So some persons manage that one well. And for some persons, even taking salary advance, they'll still borrow, borrow, borrow. And when the salary comes, the salary is not enough to pay back all those debts. So what you need to do is that for
mm.
someone like, oh, you need to devise a strategy. Now, a strategy can be deducting a particular percent every
Okay.
month from your income to pay back those debts. Another strategy can
Mm,
be taking on another income stream to pay that debt.
mm, mm,
Yes. Some persons, you don't just if you see that your salary is not enough to pay your debt, maybe look at what you have. Some persons they have a lot of skills within. Leverage those skills, monetize those skills, and pay your debt so you can sleep properly. Yes,
very,
very
very
important.
important.
And some persons, another strategy they need to do is that they need to bring down their lifestyle habits a bit. A bit.
Cut
It
back.
will not be
Yeah.
forever. Yes, but not just cut back on your spending. Some persons they are
Mm,
in debt today because they are addicted to bags, shoes, clothes. It is good, enjoy them. But when these things begin to make you to be indebted to companies or people,
yeah.
then it's an issue. Just need to cut
Mm,
back on those things. Maybe if you spend like 500K on bags, maybe you need to cut it
yeah.
down 100K just so that you can pay off those debts. Now, the essence
Mm,
of paying debt is not for you to, after paying the debt, you now go back and borrow another one. That's not the
yeah.
idea. You're just going back into the fire. The essence is so that you can direct your mind to check most of the rich people you know. Hey, I don't know. The rich people I know personally, so most of them,
Mm,
you take debt, but if you check what they take debt for, you will see that it's for assets. They hardly take debt to fund their lifestyle.
liability.
That's not the rich
Mm,
person's mindset. So you don't also want that.
mm.
So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, SB. I mean,
Um,
I believe this has been, if you've been watching till now, this has just been enlightening. This has been really,
yeah.
really enlightening. And I really hope that you're jotting things down. I really hope you're taking notes, because these are the things that would transform your life. These are the things that would actually make you become a better adult, especially in terms of your finances. All right. So we've talked about the making money aspect. One of the things that she said, earlier is personal finance. We divided into three categories: making the money, managing the money, and multiplying the money. So we've talked about making. We have talked about managing just now, and now we want to move into multiplying our income. So, SP, how can a young adult multiply their income in this day and age? You've talked about, okay, you can take up another job and whatnot. Say somebody has even now been able to budget their finances in such a way that they now want to multiply their income. They want to build wealth for legacy, for longevity, as you said, long term, right? How can a person multiply their income? Please let us know.
Okay. All right. I know for multiplying your money, what many people are waiting for me to say is investment. I'll get there. But I need to say something. There are sometimes your inability to multiply your money is an income issue.
Mm, mm,
In Nigeria now, we know that there are some certain amount you will earn in a month is not enough. And
yeah,
that's why you
that's right.
someone that you hear the saying, say, now person wey chop, they invest. Now person wey chop,
Valid,
they save, right? I
valid.
hear it a lot. So it's usually an income issue. So please, if you're on this call and the income you are making is not enough, don't this investing this thing, leave it first. It's not for you. What you should pursue now is to increase
Mm,
your income. Yes, because you need to
mm,
survive. You need
true,
to survive. You need to eat well. You need to be in a good state of
true.
mind, body, before you now talk about multiplying your money. That money needs to be enough for you to survive before you can multiply it. So for some
That's right.
persons, investment is not what you need now. What you need now is to skill up, level up, get more skills, invest in yourself, invest in more skills so that you can make more
Mm,
money. More money. You can talk about investing or even multiplying it. So for some of you, it's not about investment now. Make more money. Invest that investment now will be directed towards yourself. Invest in yourself, invest in
yourself.
skills that will
Mm,
fetch you more money, that you can convert to more money. So that's one way of multiplying your money, actually. I must say that personal investment, investing in yourself, investing in skills, what you like to do, put in leveraging other income streams. That can be a way of multiplying your money. Yes. And then savings. I like to talk about savings because savings is more like the foundation for investment. I don't know
mm,
any investor that did not master savings.
true.
If you not cultivated that discipline to save, it is called save because it will save you. Yes, that's why it's called
Mm,
save. It's actually there
A
to save
savings
you.
will save you.
It's called savings.
Valid.
Yes. We say it as this thing, but it's actually the truth. It is called
Hmm.
savings because it will save you. Yes. So once you've cultivated discipline to save, it doesn't matter how much you are earning. They give you so and so amount. Even if somebody dashed you 10K as gift and you save 2K from it and you use 8K, that's a seed. We're talking about
True.
longevity, right? So that's a
True.
seed. You
True.
save that 2K for your future. That 2K now, if you save it, put it in an high yield savings account, it will not be 2K tomorrow. And for
That's
savings,
true.
I always preach high yield savings account. If you are saving now, do people still save in banks? I don't know. But if you are saving now and you are still using the traditional bank, note my use of words, traditional bank, because
Traditional
some of
bank.
these banks, yeah, some banks actually have interest savings platforms in their
Hmm.
apps. Yes. It's just for you
Hmm.
to know, ask customer care or customer service and unlock that feature. I'm saying it because I know
Okay.
some national banks now that under
Okay.
that their app, they have the interest savings
The high
portion of the
yield
app.
savings part. Okay.
Yes, high yield savings part. Yes, that's where you put your money. You wake up tomorrow, you see that the money has given you interest. And even no matter leave it, even if it's 0 point something or 1 naira, don't
It's
worry. By the end
something,
of the
no.
month,
It's
it will
something.
increase. Yes, but if you use the
Hmm.
traditional banks, like the normal bank account, you by the end of the month, even if you put 5K, by the end of the month, I can assure you, with everything in me that you will not meet 5K there. They will have taken
Hmm.
something or
Four
something.
five
Yes,
nine nine
yes,
nine nine nine.
yeah, you see exactly. So leverage high yield savings accounts. I don't want to start naming
Hmm.
platforms, but we know them.
Yeah.
We know them. We see them everywhere. High yield
Yeah.
saving platforms everywhere. There are some that have been on. They have been around for us over 5 years, over 6 years, over seven
Hmm.
years. So
Hmm.
yes, look for the one that works for you. Look for the one that works for you.
Okay.
High yield savings account.
High
Anything
yield
that
savings
gives you
account.
interest on your money, yeah. So that's savings. Now moving on to investment.
Hmm.
Investment. An investor is someone that has mastered savings. So if you've not mastered savings, I will tell you this investment, keep it for one side first. Leave
Hmm.
it, just pack it one side and master savings. Now let me tell you one easy way to help you with savings. You know, some persons they say, oh no, this savings thing is not easy. I will not do like this, do like this. What will help you to become a better investor is when you have what we call emergency funds in your savings. It's a form of savings, right? Emergency
Hmm.
is a category of your savings. And also,
Hmm.
if you're having issues with savings, the best thing you can do for yourself, especially as a salary earner, that your money is fixed, is to automate your savings. Yes. As a
Hmm.
salary earner, you know when you receive your salary, whether it's at the beginning of the
Yeah.
new month or at the end of the month. Time,
Yeah.
you know, at least by so and so time, bad as it bad, the money will have dropped. You
Money
can
went.
tell, yes, you can tell your bank account officer that you want to put a standing instruction or a direct debit on your account. That's also and so time. This once this salary comes, so and so amount, XYZ amount should be deducted and sent to your savings account, which is your high yield savings account. You can
Yeah.
place that instruction. That's automation and that's discipline because you don't have to
Hmm.
do anything. Once the salary comes like that, some persons they put it on the day of their salary. Once the salary comes like that in the morning or afternoon, by
It's
night, you
deducted.
won't see they've deducted that savings.
Hmm.
That's discipline for you. You don't have to do anything. That's technology for you. Automate your savings. So you don't have to start because if you don't automate that savings, temptation, you go and put your hand this side. And that's your
Very
seed.
true.
That's your savings. That's what will save you, right? And then the next one I talked about was talk about automation. Let's talk about creating emergency funds. Now,
Yes.
emergency funds are very important. Some persons don't take emergency funds seriously. And let me tell you, if you don't take emergency funds seriously and you start investing, right? Once you have an emergency, life can happen. Life can
Hmm.
happen. They can tell you
True.
that your dog tail is missing or your cat died. Like somebody said,
Hmm.
they'll tell you, or they'll tell you that the brother swallowed blender.
It's
Many
all
life will
blender.
happen. Life will happen.
That's
Life will
true. That's
happen.
very true.
So you don't want when emergency comes, you're not gonna. put your hand in your investment or liquidate your investment,
Mm, mm,
especially if your investment is not now cash prevalent. There's some investment that you can't
mm.
convert to cash. If you call them, they tell you no, the time has not reached. You can't take the money now. So what do? You
Mm,
need an emergency fund. Emergency fund is just like having you call it sinking fund. Sinking funds because when there's an emergency, you put your hands here to sink, and then you're supposed to
okay.
replenish it like a buffer. As you are budgeting, we talked about budgeting. As you are drafting your budget for the
Yeah.
month, as especially if it's for entrepreneurs for the week, keep a particular amount as an estimate. Bad as bad. Nigeria now. If you go and buy tomatoes 1,000 today, you go tomorrow, that same
Right.
size might be
That's
or
true.
even 2,000
That's true.
naira. So you have to keep an, a bracket. I call it a bracket of funds. Keep it for contingencies, right?
Mm,
Of any issue, whether it is
yeah.
medical issue, whether any issue, whether your data that used to be maybe 10K, suddenly we know the people that used to increase, they increase their tariff.
Everybody has increased their tariffs, so
Exactly. Or maybe tomorrow the data has finished now and you paid for data. So your
yeah,
emergency will help you during that period. So
yeah.
once you have your emergency on lockdown, emergency funds on lockdown, you've automated your savings. You're a savings guru. Don't worry. Tell them I said
Mm,
it. SP said you're a
mm.
savings. Once you master to automate your savings and you have emergency fund, your savings grow. So now, should I now go on to investment or should I drop it again?
Investment. Let
Okay.
us
So
talk about it.
investment is actually um putting your money to work for you. That is what investment means. Hi, Tosi, can you still hear me?
Investment is, please come again. Yes,
Okay, I
I can
said,
hear you.
yeah, investment is basically you are putting your money to work for you. So when you say you are investing, it means that your
Putting your money
money,
to work for you. Mm,
yes, your money is working for you. You are investment is not your money is literally doing the work for you. Now, before you invest, there are some foundations that usually laid. Before you invest, there are things you must know. First of all, ask yourself, why am I investing? Now, what you're trying to achieve is timeline. How long do I want to invest? There's what we call a short
mm,
term. You can invest for short term,
yeah,
and short term is
yeah.
usually from zero, that's 1 month to a year. That's short term. You can also invest for mid-term goals, and that's between 1 year to 5 years. And then you can invest for long-term goals, which is from 5 years and above. So when you say by 2030, before 2030, I want to buy a car, this is 2025. 2030 is 5 years. So you know that's a mid-term.
Mm,
So
yeah.
versus use term and long term concurrently instead of saying short term, mid term, and long term. Just say short and long term, which is fine. But you know that if you say you want to buy a car in 5 years, that's not a short term goal because it has exceeded 1 year.
Mm,
So you know you
yeah.
why you need to put a timeline is that that timeline will tell you where to put your money. If you have a long-term goal, they are what we call long-term
Mm,
investments. So that long-term goal will help you
long term
direct.
goal.
Exactly. And another thing you need to know is your risk appetite.
Mm.
Now in Nigeria,
Okay.
studies,
Sorry.
statistics have done.
SP, just a minute. Just a minute. There's some feedback in the background, so we're not hearing clearly. There's some feedback. I don't know if your YouTube is on or something is interfering, so we're not hearing clearly. So can you just
Can
speak
you hear
again
me?
so that we can hear you? We stopped at long-term goals.
Okay, can you hear me now? Confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you better and I can see you better now. Okay.
All right. So I was saying that why you need to have a
Long-term
timeline.
goal.
Yeah, can you hear me
Yes.
now? Okay.
Yes, I
Why you
can.
need all right. So I'll move on. Why you need to have a timeline to your to your why you need to have a timeline. That means why you need to have goals is because your goals will direct you on the kind of investment you make, right? If you have a short-term goal, maybe part of your short-term goal is from zero, that's 1 month to a year. If you have your short-term goals could be pay your rent, your short-term goals could be what are those short-term goals again? Maybe you want to earn a certification. Maybe you're a professional, maybe like me now, a finance professional. So persons may say they want to earn their ICANN
Mm.
certification, they want to do this. Maybe your short-term goal, that's within a year. So you know how to save up for maybe that certification, how to invest for your rent. Some persons
Yeah.
don't save their rent anymore. They put their rent in some short-term investment, and the returns are more than the regular savings. Yes. So
Mm.
timeline. You need a timeline. Another thing you need is that you need to
That makes
know
sense.
risk appetite. You need to know your risk appetite. Now, I was saying that statistics have shown that most people are usually risk averse. I mean, it means that they are low risk takers. What that means is you are conservative, and that is okay. Low risk investment are ones that your capital is preserved. Capital here means the money you are putting into your investment, just like your principal, right? If you did
Capital.
mathematics in primary school, your
Capital is
principal,
the principal.
yes, the money you are putting into your investment, that is your capital. So most low risk investments, your
Yeah.
capital assured is preserved. As they are giving you returns, your capital is preserved. Tosi, I can't see you. Confirm that you can see me. Get feedback. It seems like I'm the only one on this call right now. I need confirmation. Can anybody see me and hear me? You can drop it on the chat. There is a break in transmission. Can anybody see and hear me? Can anybody see and hear me? Wow. I can't see my hosts. It seems like I'm the only one on this call. Can anybody see me? Can you hear me? Okay. I can see feedback on the comment section. I'm getting the feedback that you can see me, you can hear me, but I can't see my hosts. So just give me a bit, just give me like a minute. Let me call the hosts so we can get back on this discussion. Okay, so Tosin will join us very soon. Meanwhile, I just want to get feedback on the comment section. Do you have any are we following? Am I breaking it down well? Are there any questions, any clarifications before Tosi joins us? You can just drop it on the chat. I'm on the chat now, so I can see your chat. Or is there anything you'd like me to um discuss more extensively? Tosi is trying to join the call again. Any questions, any observations, any nobody saying anything? Are we following? Are we understanding? Okay, okay. I can see feedback. I'm trying to wait for our host to come back on the call before we proceed. I think it's a network issue she's having. I want to go ahead without my host. So let me just give a recap while we wait for Tosi to join the call. So I was talking about how that for investment, right? The first thing you need to do is have a timeline. You will do yourself injustice if you don't have a timeline, and then understand your risk appetite. For some persons, you are um most investors, they don't want to hear story about their money. They don't want to hear that the money. And okay, we have Tosi back. Nice to see you, Tosi.
Hi, sorry, the network went off. Yeah, please just continue. Please just continue from where you were. It's fine. Please just continue.
All right, all right. So I was saying that, right? I was saying that for I talked about having a timeline. Now, that timeline is very important so that you know where to put your money. If it's for a short-term goal, you need to put your money in short-term investment, right? And for short-term investment, we talk about treasury
Yeah.
bill, about mutual funds, talk about
Mm-hmm.
government. Those ones, they are very good for short term. They're usually within 1 year. Some go for 2 years, right? Yeah. And then when you talk about long term investment are usually real estate. Most people do real estate long term. Long term investment too. We talk about stocks. Yes, stocks are for long term. Some persons don't know this. They take stock and just cash in, cash out. When you invest in stock, whether
Long
Nigerian
term.
stock, US stock, they are long term investment. Now, I also talked about knowing your risk appetite. Are you a high risk person? Are you a low risk person? Are you the person that you want to sleep with your two eyes closed and wake up and your money is preserved? Are you a high risk taker? You don't mind so long as you are getting what is it called, benefits from it over time. So now for risk, you know that this mutual funds I talked about, government bonds, treasury bills, these are low risk investments, right? So this low risk investment, your capital is preserved. Your capital is preserved. But for high risk investment, high risk, you talk about crypto. Yes, the crypto market is very volatile, and that's why it is very risky. The same for stocks. Yeah, the stock market is volatile. That's why it is risky. However, some persons say that on the long term, the returns, you know, covers the risk, which can be true. Other forms of high risk investment, even real estate has a very huge amount of risk in it. Yes. So if you are starting out your investment, you need to know the kind of person that you are. Some persons, especially from individuals, singles that are not married, they tend to venture into more high risk investment than people that are married. Because people that are married, they have to cater for their children, they have to cater for the home. So most times they are usually around the low or medium risk, right? That they are usually conservative or moderate about their investments because they have people that are depending on the outcome of this investment. So as a young person, as a single person, you may even be a low risk taker. You are single, doesn't mean that you can take you can be a high risk taker. Just determine the kind of risk taker that you are, and then launch to start your investment. So I already mentioned some investment that you can start with. For mutual funds, there are many what is it called? There are many companies you can start with, stockbrokers. There are even mutual banks that do mutual funds, usually money markets, banks. So you can even use apps. Optimus, Carrywise. Carrywise is very good for mutual funds. You can even talk to some of the banks. Some banks I know that do mutual funds. FBN, that's the first, is now First Asset Management. That's the new name. Stanbic IBTC. You can walk into their branch, or you can put a call through to their customer care and tell them that you want to open a mutual fund account. You see their interest rate. Their interest rate is usually mutual funds now, depending on the bank and on the platform, you should be getting 20% and above. So like Meristem too is a very good one for mutual funds. There are many of them. So you see that the percentage usually around 20%. Then for treasury bills, the percentage usually comes down and goes up. There's a time treasury bill was around 17%, other times to 20%, to around that range, right? These are low risk investments. They're also good for short term. So persons invest in their rent using mutual funds. Yes, because they believe that the interest is more than the regular high yield savings account. Most high yield savings accounts will give you 18%, right? Then moving on to, I've talked about short-term investments. Now, long-term investments or even mid-term investments. Talked about your stocks is long-term. And I remember I also said that stocks as risk. You can put 100K in the stock market today, and by next 2 months, your 100K has reduced to 85K or 90K. Yes, but the benefit of investing, yes, that's the truth. I will not lie to you. Yes, it's true that people get dividends, right? When the dividend come, but dividend will not come all the time. Most companies, they don't pay you dividend every quarter. They pay you dividend it's once in a year. For some companies, it's once in a year. Those ones that pay interim, what they call interim dividend and final dividend, those ones that pay interim dividend, it's not usually for, how do I put it? It's not usually for everybody. So stock is delicate, sorry, it's volatile, but on the long term, if you keep investing in stock, the returns will cover up for whatever um, happens in the stock market. The Nigerian stock market always recovers. That's one thing. And for investing in stock market, there are different ways you can start. You can start with the Trove app. Bamboo is there. Or if you feel like you still want to do it old school, go to your bank and talk to either the customer service, or tell them you want to, buy into that bank shares. It's not only banks, you can buy into other company shares, or you can even look for registered stockbrokers. I keep emphasizing on the word registered stockbrokers. You can liaise with them. There are many. There's Cardinal Stone. There are different stockbrokers, right? You can liaise with them, tell them you want to invest in the stock market, and they open your CSCS account. That's your clearing system account, and then they'll give you all that you need, and you can start your investment journey. But always remember, like I said, longevity. This is not a get rich quick scheme. We're not doing Ponzi here. We're not doing on the, what do they call it, 30% return at
We're
the
not
end of
doing
the month.
CBEX.
All these return I'm talking about is usually per annum. You hardly see any company that is promising you 20% at the end of the month per month. Please run. Because it's not sustainable. Even most profitable companies, they cannot give you that. It's not sustainable. So some of all these checks will help you know which one, help you determine
What to
funds.
invest in.
Exactly. And also check, are they registered? Are they regulated with SEC? That's the Security Exchange Commission. Are they registered? Anyone that you see you want to invest in and they're not registered, please don't go. Also, for some persons that talk about guarding against inflation, you can convert your naira to USD and guard against inflation. So there are some fintech apps that you can leverage. You can also take advantage of what is it called? Even there's what we call dollar fund, right? So for some banks, like I mentioned, the Stanbic IBTC, under Stanbic IBTC, there's dollar fund that they use. I keep mentioning Stanbic because those are the ones I know. You can also ask for
Yeah.
other banks that do money fund. They'll ask you if you want to guard against inflation. The naira is 1,006 today, tomorrow is 1,700, next tomorrow is 1,500, then it has almost 2,000. So you want to guard against inflation. So you can also leverage using dollar fund. Yeah, so that's the summary about investment.
Thank you so much, SP. Like a round of applause. In fact, the gems that we have received today, you guys, if you go outside, you're going to get paid. You pay money for this, and we're receiving this free. The network was glitching earlier, but I was still hearing um all the things that were being said. I really hope you've taken notes. You can always go back and check on this video. Thank you. Thank you so much, SP, for this. There's supposed to be a Q&A session, guys, but we have run out of time. So we're going to have to end this here. But you can send your questions to the comments, and then we will just send responses in the comments section. So you can send your questions in the comments and we will send responses. Also, I'd like to advise that you follow SP on her LinkedIn page. All the questions, all the answers you need are there. Her LinkedIn page is actually in the description, right? LinkedIn at Sopuluchi Obiora. It's written, I actually put it in the description. So you can click on that and go to our LinkedIn page and just get all the details that you need for personal finance. Thank you so, so much, SP. I don't think it's possible for us to cover all the things about personal finance in one sitting, but at least we've been able to get a very detailed, very in-depth study on this. So thank you so much for giving us your time. Thank
You're
you. Thank you
welcome.
so
Yeah.
much, SB.
You're welcome. I have final
All
words
right,
though.
all right.
Yeah. Okay, so I want
Thank
to
you so
say
much. All right, so we just
I'm
want
look
to hear a final word from SP. Okay, yes, please.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to everybody on this call being more intentional about your finance. Remember, the goal is to become like Alakija, Melu, Dangote. So don't leave it to chance. Don't invest this month and leave it and wait
Mm,
till December. Consistency is
take
key.
action.
Even if yes, take action one and be consistent. Even if you usually invest 10K and maybe this month the money is only, even if it's 5K, 2K, you are, please invest it. Consistency is key. Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thank you for the opportunity and also looking forward
Thank you
to
so much,
more
SB.
with that. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, so thank you so so much, SP. So guys, the charge is to start now. Take action. You don't have to be at the big stage yet. Start with 5,000 naira. Some you can even start with 1,000 naira. Start now on your
Yes.
investment journey, and remember that it is long term. We are not doing Ponzi schemes. We are not doing a get rich quick scheme. This is
Mhm.
building wealth, and it takes time. Thank you so much, SP. Thank you so much, everyone,
Yeah.
for tuning in. Thank you so much,
You're
everyone, for
welcome.
tuning in. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
All right. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.